The reason why the earth is cursed. Why was the earth cursed? Okay. Now, the earth has been cursed by God since the day man sinned in disobedience to his word. The earth has been cursed by God since the day man sinned in disobedience to his word. When you read the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 18, Genesis chapter 3 verse 18, quickly read it. It is on your screen. Let us read it together. Genesis 3 verse 18, and it said, "Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life." That was what God said. God said, "Cursed is the ground for your sake." So that is to say, both the animals and everything on the earth were cursed because of the disobedience of Adam and Eve, because of the disobedience of man. So now when God cursed the earth, the first thing God cursed was the ground. Okay? That was the first thing that God cursed. The first thing that God cursed was the ground. Because the surface of the ground was filled with the resources man needed to survive. Okay? The surface of the ground was filled with the resources man needed to survive. But when God cursed the ground, the resources was transferred from the surface of the earth into the depth of the earth. Please and please let me repeat myself. Okay? Let me repeat myself. When God cursed the ground, are you hearing? Take note of what I said. When God cursed the ground, the resources was transferred from the surface of the earth into the depth of the earth. But at first, most of the resources was on the surface of the earth. But now, it was transferred into the depth of the earth. Now, let me prove it to you. For example, when God created the earth, now let me say resources like gold, it was just on the ground like stone. So if you want gold, you go and take gold and use the gold whatever you want to do, and it is refined gold, not the one that you go and suffer and refine it yourself. But because the ground was cursed, now you can't see gold on the floor. You have to toil and suffer and dig before you get that gold. So that is the curse. God cursed this earth because of the sin of Adam and Eve. Okay. So now, as I was saying, for example, now when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 10 and 12. Now let us read it as it is on your screen. Genesis chapter 2, verse 10 and 12. And it says, "Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became 4 riverheads." Okay, now the name of the first is Pigeon. It is the one which keeps the whole land of Havilah where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. So resources like gold, as we read in the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 10 and 12, like those gold were just found near the river. So assuming the earth was not cursed, if you need gold right now, as you are seeing stones on the floor, that is how gold will just be on the floor, and the gold is refined and fresh. You will just take the gold, but because of the curse that God cursed this earth, now you have to dig. So, and even when God created the earth, not only gold that was on the surface of the earth, like most of the essential natural resources that we needed, like there will be no stress for us to get those resources. Why? Because it is in abundance on the surface of the earth. Now let me give you an example. If you need grass, like you will not suffer to get grass, because grass is plenty, like those grass that the cows and the horses always chew. It is plenty. Why? Because it's just on the surface of the earth. So most of the resources that we needed, like the crude oil and the iron, aluminum, copper, silver, they were on the surface of the earth. So no stress to get all those things. But because of the curse, okay, now if you want to get those natural resources, okay, to get those natural resources, it is no longer on the surface of the earth. So you have to toil. Okay, so God said that in toil you will toil before you eat. So now let us proceed further. So after the curse from God, most of the resources was transferred from the surface of the earth into the depth of the earth. Okay, so what are the what are those resources? That is the raw materials needed in doing our basic activities. Okay, just like I said earlier on, the gold, the aluminium, the zinc, the copper, the silicon, name them whatever, crude oil, limestone, and all those things. So even the limestone will be refined, not like the one that you are going to take the raw limestone and you will now refine it to as a cement to build your house. No, those resources were there in abundance, but because of curse, okay, so man have to labor to get those resources, and because of the labor that they labor to get those resources, that is why those resources are expensive, and people that have access to those resources are the wealthy people, but actually those resources were in abundance on the surface of the earth. So now, for example, if I want to manufacture a car or a plane, or okay, let me say if I want to build a house, to get those resources are very, very hard. To get those resources to build a house, such as the cement, the iron rod, and all those things, they are gotten from resources, and these resources are mostly by labor. Why? Because those resources are not easily found on the surface of the earth, but you have to toil and dig the ground. That is why to raise up a building or to build a house is very expensive, even to manufacture a car. So don't be saying that cars are expensive. The reason why cars are expensive is because of the resources, okay, that are needed to make or to manufacture those cars, such as the iron and the let me say the how am I going to put it, the mercury, and the mercury, the silicon, the aluminium, and name them whatever, the acid and all these things. So that is by the way. So the resources in making planes and all these things are gotten through hard labor. Okay, so that is why those things are expensive. So that is the curse that God has cursed this world. And when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 18, it said that both thorns and thistle it shall bring forth for you. Okay, it said that both thorns and thistle it shall bring forth for you. That is Genesis chapter 3, verse 18. Now, what are the thorns and thistles? The thorns and thistles are the problems and obstacles you will face when trying to get your food. Okay, the problems and obstacles you will face when getting your food. Those are the thorns and thistles. For example, the food spoilage. So when God created the world, your tomatoes can stay for 100 years without spoiling. But because of that curse, now your tomatoes have to spoil, okay, or your cabbage they will rot, okay. So just imagine foodstuff were not spoiling. There will be abundance of food, and foodstuff will not be too expensive. So as I was saying, the obstacle you get like insects feeding on our fruits. Okay, so those are the obstacles. So these are the curses that God laid upon the earth because of the disobedience of man. And another curse that God said was in the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 19. And it said, in sweat you shall eat bread. So imagine now let me ask you a question. Imagine you got a fruit from the tree, and within 10 minutes that fruit will grow back. Okay, and you will not plant or water it. It will just be growing for free. You just go and plant your orange, root it, and within some minutes the orange will grow back on the tree without you planting or watering. So these were the benefits that Adam and Eve were enjoying in the Garden of Eden. But because of the disobedience, God now said they will not enjoy this benefit again, but they will have to sweat before you eat. So right now, men have to work and sweat before eating. And the other curse that God laid upon the earth is death. Death was also one of the curses that God laid upon the earth. When you read the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 19, it also said, till you return to the ground, okay, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. So he cursed he cursed the earth with death. So everybody will cry, everybody will die, and everybody will cry for their loved ones because death has taken them. So that death is a curse from God. So you will not live in this earth forever. It is a curse from God. And he cursed the woman in childbirth. So before you will give birth, you will not give birth like a goat that does not feel pain. Goat will just give birth free of charge. Lion will give birth like that without going to hospital or anything. But you as a human being, except by the grace of God, you will have to labor in pain before bringing forth children. And he also cursed the feeding of animals. For example, the serpent, he told the serpent that the serpent will feed on dust. And he also cursed the beast, most especially the beast with those kind of nails. He cursed them that they will feed on flesh and blood, just as the Lord cursed the serpent, that the serpent will feed on dust. So also he cursed the animal that they will feed on flesh and blood. And he also told the rest of the animal that their bodies would be a food to the wider beasts. That was the curse that God cursed them. And listen to this. Christ came. Okay, Christ didn't come to take the curse away from the earth. Are you hearing? Christ did not come to take away the curse away from the earth. No. But he came to give us a new hope of the new earth that is free from the curse of God. Let me repeat it. Christ didn't come to take away the curse from the earth, but he came to give us a new hope, okay, of the new earth that is free from the curse of God.